Hello, neighbor. Welcome to my neighborhood. Hello, and welcome to another Starman Just Watched. I'm Devin, and that was a terrible impression of Mr. Rogers, and with me is Billy.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself with that one, Devin.
I am. But yeah, so randomized related on documentary, and Billy just happened to have the Mr. Rogers documentary, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Yeah.
And I will come out front and say it, I never really watched Mr. Rogers when I was a kid.
Yeah, you were more Mr. Dress-Up.
I was a Mr. Dress-Up if I had to pick any of the adult grandpa figures that were on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Dress-Up. And yeah, I just I knew of Mr. Rogers, I just never watched really anything of his.
Yeah, because I'm just curious because you did get PBS.
I think we did.
Okay.
But
yeah, because you would have watched Reading Rainbow on PBS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
So obviously we did. I just never really.
Yeah.
Was it on at the same? It couldn't have been on at the same time.
No, Mr. Rogers was I want to say morning or early afternoon. I'm trying to.
If it's early afternoon, there might have been a reason I missed it because I did have to walk from school.
Yeah.
And I was never in a really rush to get home.
Yeah, but I want to say
and if it's morning, I was one of those get up breakfast school.
Yeah.
There was no time for TV.
Yeah, but I want to say mid-morning.
Yeah.
So you would have been in school when it was
playing, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, my reasons for why I didn't watch Mr. Rogers are vast and varied, but
that's a very convoluted.
Not discredit anyone for watching Mr. Rogers. It's a good show.
Yeah, no, I mean...
And this documentary really solidifies how much of a treasure Mr. Rogers was.
Yeah. No, like I said, I watched.
So, because this is a documentary, we can't do... Well, obviously, what's the simple plot?
Documentary on the beloved Mr. Rogers.
Exactly. We can't do our normal formula. But we can go through scenes we liked and all that. So, I do like the interviews in how the show started.
Yeah. The first week, they talked about Vietnam.
Yeah, they talked about Vietnam in a not war is awesome.
Yeah.
You have a gun, kid. Which I do love that about Mr. Rogers, that the person on television hated television the most.
Yeah.
And that is the only reason he is on television, to show people how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
I like that spitefulness in him.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
He's not wrong.
No,
even when I was looking oh yeah, all the stuff I watched as a kid was just dumb advertisements or foolish nonsense that really didn't amount to anything.
Yeah. Especially what made him come when he first stopped. He did take a break for 2 years.
Yeah.
And what made him come back? You read about the kid falling from fly like Superman.
Yeah. It's so no one's teaching these kids that maybe you shouldn't do that? Alright, I gotta get back in there.
Yeah, and I think the first thing he talked about, he was really concerned.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was we had the death glare of Mr. Rogers.
And you love that.
I love that. If you watch this documentary and you get up to where he comes back because the child died because of pretending
didn't die, he just got injured.
Injured, okay. Still. The fact that a child got hurt and no one's taking concern about that angered him a lot.
Yeah.
And then to have these people who have no interest in the child's well-being saying this is what the child should be watching.
No. And then he's like,
I'll tell you what they should be watching.
Yeah. The way he said that was
it's yes, sir. Like, holy crap. That is the face of, like, I do not want to piss this man off. This is the nicest man in the world, according to everyone. And to see him angry, just complete tone shift. Then, second time he came back was because...
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to get your help there.
Yeah,
9/11, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was after he fully retired.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to come back with some PSAs about...
The 9/11 incident.
Yeah.
Which... I like that he's like, I don't know if this is going to do any good.
Yeah,
me talking about 9/11, what's that going to really do for the nation?
Like, and they're like, no, this is when we need you to...
This is the time you need to come in.
And this is also a month after his friend died.
Yeah.
It was a month after Mr. Jessup passed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, I admit Mr. Rogers was going through a lot at the time, and I understand where his mindset was.
Yeah, like, September 11th happened.
Yeah. And my friend died, so...
Yeah.
You know, what's the point? But yet, he put on that cardigan sweater and got it up there, and he did it.
Yeah. Beautiful, right?
Yeah. Alright, so things we didn't like about the documentary, and I'm going to flip the script a little bit. What controversies or negatives that the documentary brought up that got to you a bit?
Like, just like how the outrage of people calling him, like, referring to everyone being special and...
Yes, that pissed me off.
Oh.
They blame Mr. Rogers for being the way they are because Mr. Rogers says, you're special, you don't have to earn anything, you don't have to work for it, you're going to be special. And that was not the intended message at all from Mr. Rogers.
No.
And I was like, some people are just trying to shove the blame on the nicest man in the world.
Yeah. Like, yeah, so, like, you kids are crap. It's like, oh, who do you blame? Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, because they told my kid they were special, and they thought they didn't have to do anything to do it. I was like, did you step in and say anything to your kid about, like, you have to work?
Yeah, no.
Or even the kid themselves that when they grew up, and they are like, I didn't achieve anything in life because Mr. Rogers said I should do that anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. You're not entitled, and I love that they separate that.
Yes.
Special and entitled are not the same thing. Special, to Mr. Rogers, even to quote him, is just, you do not have to do anything to be loved.
Yeah.
You don't have to change anything about you, act a certain way, behave a certain way, look a certain way.
That's what being special is.
Being special means you're loved because you're you.
Yeah.
Being entitled is a much different story.
The story, yes. Means you think you should get your hands on a fucking silver platter.
Exactly. No work or effort required.
Yeah.
And that's just not how things work.
Right?
And then I like that they went into like how he felt about the parodies of them.
Yeah.
There were a lot.
Yeah, there were.
And I was like, I understand he's a childhood star. Or not a childhood star, but like a childhood icon. There we go. Thank you. And icons tend to get hit by the parodies a lot.
But one of the, like, the dudes, look cool with Eddie Murphy, kinda.
Yeah. He's like, a lot of them I didn't find funny, but there were a few that I could tell there was a kindness behind.
Yeah, and because like he said that Eddie Murphy, like, really, like, kind of geeked out.
Yeah. Oh, when Eddie Murphy met him, he's like the real Mr. Rogers and
hugged him. Oh man,
I was like, yeah.
I love that.
Mm.
I think the Johnny Harrison one.
That one was a bit much, yeah.
Like, with the this is the new person in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah, no, and then epic rap battles, if you know that, they do one with Mr. Rogers versus Mr. T.
Oh god.
Yeah. It's catchy and all, but... And Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Victory, or Destiny, Mr. Rogers wins that at the end. Spoiler. If you haven't heard this, 13-year-old song? So, and if you were on Newgrounds back in the day...
Oh, yes. Tell me this.
Okay. So, there was an interesting one that I didn't know Mr. Rogers passed away. And this came up on Newgrounds because I was on Newgrounds at the time. Y'all were.
Yeah.
It was the period.
Yeah. Was the style at the time.
It was the style at the time. This was before YouTube was really taking off.
Yeah.
And I saw someone make a fan video for Mr. Rogers. It was animated, roughly drawn. But,
Yeah.
But Mr. Rogers dies, goes to heaven. As he's getting there, his theme song is being played as if God is singing it.
Yeah.
And as he gets to the gate, Jesus is there to greet him and welcome him in. And as he goes in, Jesus puts his hand around Mr. Rogers and go, "You have spread more love than I ever could."
I mean, and the fact that someone
Reported it as insensitive because Mr. Rogers died that day. You shouldn't be posting anything Mr. Rogers right now. And it got taken down
like
within 24 hours, kind of.
Yeah.
Because I went back the next day to go, make sure I watched it.
Yeah.
It was in my history. And it was not there. It was removed. I was like, what the hell? And I know I didn't read it.
Yeah.
So if you're out there, random person who made that short, please get in touch with me. It was amazing.
Yeah, like
The only time I'll call out to the internet. Alright, so things we didn't like, things we liked. Overall impression of this documentary.
like brought back memories.
Brought back, yeah, for you it probably brought back a lot of memories.
Yeah.
For me, it opened up my eyes to a world that I wish I visited.
Right?
I was like, man, Child B would have loved the hell out of this show. Because it treated you like a person and not just some kid.
Yeah, and because like I said, and like I was like he talked about anything, wasn't afraid to talk about anything. Assassination.
Yeah, let's go through a list of topics that, on today's standards, would have gotten canceled.
Assassination. Right after Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah. Death.
Yeah.
We're doing a week of death.
Yeah. Okay. Divorce.
Which Sesame Street wouldn't even touch that
No,
shit.
they taped it, but then we can't
air it. Like, it's not, it's too bad. That's too hard of a subject. Mr. Rogers was like, yeah, give me that shit. I'll run with it.
Yeah. I'll treat it right.
Yeah. And I think that's why he's so loved, is because he loved in return and treated you with such respect, even as a kid.
Yeah.
You didn't feel like an adult talking down to you. You felt as if this guy was on your level.
Yeah. And I was like, when I brought up the child in the wheelchair with Jeff.
Yes. That was heart touching. I was actually moved.
Yeah. And then when they showed the clip in the credits, when I think he was getting an award or something, and they brought him up to present it, and his reaction, he ran, I think he tripped.
Yeah, he stumbled. I saw him.
Yeah, he stumbled. It was like he was that excited to see him. They were still
alive and well, and just wow. Yeah.
I mean that just warms our hearts, right?
Oh yeah. And that's the other controversy I love that is still present today, not just with Mr. Rogers, but anyone who's too nice. Is, are they that nice in real life, or are they just putting on an act in front of the camera?
He was
like, everyone around was like, nope, that was him. That's That's how he acted.
Yeah, because when one of the guys said that when he was on the train with him, when he was over the train, everyone started singing the theme.
Yeah.
I'm like...
No, like, even behind closed doors where it should just be private, they're like, no, he never, like, swore or anything. Like,
no. Yeah, he was exactly. He was the nicest
guy you could ever meet. And no hidden agendas or any dumb...
No. And the thing I almost forgot that I kind of like when the thing I mentioned, we were funding for public television.
Yes. That is an interesting scene.
Yeah.
Because it was almost as if they were not going to get $20 million to run their programs.
Yeah.
And Mr. Rogers just gave a beautiful speech with a lot of respect for the speaker.
Yeah.
Didn't try to, like, arm him into doing anything. And just... the dickishness of some of the speaker.
Yeah.
Would it make you happy if you sung it right now?
Nice.
He's like, no, sir, I'm not going to waste your time with it, but I do want to get the message of it.
He does that. It's like, wow, looks like you.
Yeah, it looks like you just earned yourself $20 million.
It's like just like that.
Yeah, I was like, wow, you turned 180 with just Mr. Rogers. Holy hell. Because he was rolling his eyes. Like, Mr. Rogers wasn't the first speaker. He was kind of like...
It was the last.
I think he was the last or
one.
Near the end.
And they just didn't want to hear any more, but then...
Yeah, he's like rolling his eyes like, alright, one more just to get this over with, but... Don't get your hopes up on anything.
Yeah.
And the other thing I liked about one of the good points of Mr. Roger was his will. That unbreakable will to get things done.
Right?
I was like, most people need to strive for this.
Yeah. Just work to, like, get it done.
Yeah. One is just getting off your butt and doing it, and two is sticking to it and doing it right. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then the ending. There was a moment with the ending where it's like the one person that helped you along the way.
Yeah.
Remember them. Remember the people who had your best intentions at heart. Because, believe it or not, you've met a few people that have always had your best intentions.
Right.
You just maybe haven't realized it yet. But with that, though, we'll have to call the episode here, so thank you all very much for watching. Billy doesn't have an end quote, so...
Yeah, no, I mean, just you're special, just be special.
I guess that we'll have to go with that.
Yeah.
You're one in a million, and that's what makes you unique and lovable.
Nicely put. I couldn't have said it better myself, Darren.
Have a good one, guys.